If you're ever driving down 480 or going to or from the airport, then you're going to immediately know where I am because of the sight of these iconic smokestacks. And if you grew up in Cleveland, then you definitely remember selling Malley's chocolate bars in your school fundraisers. But the sweet thing is, Malley's is so much more than bars of chocolate. And to find out just how much more they do, we're giving you a look behind the scenes right here on Cleve-It To Us.
You're watching Cleve-It To Us.
So I'm here with Grace Cohan, and you're the plant manager.
Correct.
Right? So already, right out the gate, this is pretty impressive. We don't mess around, we go straight to the top. And Mike Malley's over there, we're gonna meet him in a minute. So were you always involved in chocolate and candy, or is this something that you sort of fell into?
Well, I actually was a pastry chef for years before this, and I worked for a chocolate factory in Texas. And when I decided to move back home to Ohio, that's when I saw Malley's was hiring, and it was kind of a dream.
It was like meant to be.
Yeah.
So you didn't really fall into it, but you've always been in love with it. But you know what? I would love to fall into some chocolate.
Right?
It's not a bad way to go. Now, Grace, outside of your impressive resume, you obviously have a lot of passion for what you do. Not only doing whatever administrative tasks make up your day that keep the chocolate trains on the tracks, but you have a sweet tooth just like me, I know.
I sure do.
And you're the brains behind Malley's new sweet treat, the Betty Lou, right?
Yep.
So tell me about what that is and what inspired the idea.
So the Betty Lou is very similar to a Billy Bob, except for it has pretzels inside instead of pecans. And so the team and I in the back, we talk about different candies all the time. You know, we all have quite a sweet tooth back there. So we decided just to kind of test it out.
Territory.
Right, we wanted to test it out, run it, kind of do a Billy Bob without any nuts, and that's how it came to
Betty
be.
Lou is the Billy Bob with no nuts. I love that. So it's like Billy Bob's sister or wife.
Yeah.
Or in Alabama, the same thing. We're in Cleveland. I don't think that they're going to watch this in Alabama. I have enough nuts in my family, though, so I don't need them in my chocolate, which is why I'm really pumped about the Betty Lou's. So let me ask you a question. Are you sick of the smell of chocolate, or do you still love smelling it every day, or do you not notice it anymore, being plant manager?
I don't think you could ever get sick of it.
Really?
I don't notice it as much as I used to, but yeah, you can never get sick of it.
You can't get sick of the smell of chocolate. So I eat chocolate every single day. I'm not exaggerating. It's kind of a problem. It's not a problem. I don't go to meetings. But I really do have chocolate in some form every day, even if it's just a little bit. And Sweetest Day is coming up this weekend.
Yep.
And of course, being a holiday invented in Cleveland exactly 101 years ago, you guys at Malley's have 101 reasons to celebrate. And it's kind of a big deal around here, right? One of my favorites, and I know I'm not alone in this, is the chocolate-covered strawberries and grapes. The grapes especially, because if you're one of the few places I found that make these commercially, and I love being in the kitchen, and I make these at home, but it's such a process. It's a time-consuming thing, and the fact that you guys make these is great because I crave them and I don't have to go through the process of actually making them when Sweetest Day rolls around.
Right.
So now I know you're about to start production. You start production. Everything is fresh, so you do the night before you're making for that morning.
Yep.
And we have a few days to go until Sweetest Day.
Yep.
But I'm impatient. I'm early, and I can't wait that long. So I know you have some things in production, and we can take a look at some of that, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
So we're here with Mike Malley, the one and only, right?
One and only.
Now I hear that Grandpa Mike was the original Mike Malley.
Yes.
Okay, but you're the third generation.
Third generation.
I love this.
My grandpa.
Geraci's is also run by a third generation ownership. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I love this. So we're in sort of the the heart of where everything happens. And I've got to cover my hair and my beard because we don't want any stray hairs falling into the mix. We all had to go through a process. But this is fun. Tell me about why you love doing what you do with Malley's chocolate. I mean, you got a chocolate bar with your name on it. All of the chocolate has your name on it.
So that's fun, but I think that's the key thing. This is a fun business. And we try to instill that every time we're talking with the staff. Our customers are coming in to have a good time. So, you know, it's not like we're doing surgery. We're not saving lives. No one died today. I mean, it's a fun environment. And, you know, we got to remind ourselves of that because like any business, we have production deadlines, sales quotas. You know, we have, you know, significant responsibilities. But at the core of it, it is a fun business.
Sure.
It's not a complicated business. You know, we make chocolate. And
What's so
we sell chocolate.
complicated about that?
Exactly. And we get to have fun, you know, experimenting. You know, we're doing chocolate-covered graham crackers today. It's not an original idea, but it's a tasty one.
It's a tasty one, right? So I will never forget selling Malley's chocolate bars in all of my school fundraisers. It's such a great way to raise money for the school while satisfying our Malley's cravings.
Right.
The pretzel crunch was always my favorite. That's got to be a big seller, right?
It's one of our best sellers.
Of course, it's the best seller.
The pretzel crunch, as Grace knows, because she has to make them.
Yep.
So
You make a lot of those.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of pretzel bars.
Well, they were always my favorite. We were talking about legacies and you continuing as a third generation owner of Malley's Chocolate. That's a pretty impressive legacy for any business. And from what I understand, Grandpa Mike borrowed $500 back in 1935
Yep.
to start Malley's. Do you think that he ever thought that it would turn into this massive chocolate
No.
empire? No.
I don't think my grandfather would have. He would be amazed to see what we've done in 3 generations. It's quite a testimony, though, because he was a classic entrepreneur. He borrowed $500 during the Great Depression. Most people would say that's insane. And he started out on the journey that we're all really the beneficiaries of. Because he was the one with the vision and just the passion for making chocolates. And that's what he wanted to do, and he followed his dream.
That's all any of us could really aspire to do, right?
Right.
Is follow our dreams.
Right.
And you're still doing that, right? Right here.
Still trying to keep
I
the
love
flame
it.
alive.
Now, originally it was a Lakewood store. That was it, right?
Right.
Now, when that opened, from what I understand, it was the first aluminum retail store in America. And when it opened to the public way back in the 30s, it was such a big deal that the police had to kind of come and do crowd control.
Crowd control. They had a big spotlight, you know, searchlight, like it was an opening of a big movie gala.
I love that.
So,
Is it still pretty busy in that store?
oh yeah, it's still one of our better stores.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You still do the prize patrol thing with the bumper stickers and the
Prize Patrol.
I still see this.
I've never heard it called the Prize Patrol. But
That's what it is, right?
that's good. Yeah, we still do it. Each month we pick out if your car is spotted with the chalk sticker,
Yes.
you get automatically entered into a contest to be drawn from a pool of recipients to win a $500 prize. And even if you don't win, you get some gift certificates. So,
Who can beat that? That's more than enough reason, if not just to show pride in a Cleveland business, to put a chalk sticker on your car, right?
right.
Right here, like you mentioned, this is the chocolate-covered marshmallow.
No,
This is
chocolate
No,
covered graham
yeah,
crackers.
of course, it's the graham
That's the
crackers.
marshmallow.
Marshmallows are the next
I saw the
We'll go over
marshmallows.
there and look at those.
Let's go over there and look at those. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's take a look.
All right, let's take a look.
This is so neat. There's nothing better than a curtain of chocolate. I could see now if I was alone in here, like a kid in a candy store, I just lay down and bathe in a curtain of chocolate.
That's why you're not in here.
They won't let me. They won't let me do it. But this is neat. So, how many marshmallows can you make on this thing in a day, in a week?
What do you think, Grace?
A lot.
600 pounds.
600 pounds of marshmallows.
This is our patented marshmallow recipe.
Yeah.
So we make that in the kitchen in the other room, and then this is the enrobing room. So
Love it. So the marshmallows are all made from scratch. These are your proprietary marshmallows.
Yep.
That's why they taste so good.
right,
You're not going to get these marshmallows anywhere else.
that's right.
I love it. So, and they run through their you make them, and then they're cut, and then they run through a curtain of chocolate. I love it.
You know, finer chocolate does have to be treated very differently than people think, oh, you can just melt this on my kitchen stove and make candies at home. Maybe you can, but there's a process to it where chocolate has to go through a tempering process, because you just can't take chocolate and dump it on some nuts or marshmallow. It has to go through a tempering process, because chocolate, if it has too many temperature changes, you're going to have a problem. So it goes through our long cooling tunnels to make sure it sets up properly before it's acceptable for sales to the customers.
I love it. You mentioned there's a much more strict process when you're making fine chocolate.
Right.
You have to treat the chocolates differently because they're fine chocolates.
That's right.
Just like people. I'm going to give a shout out because the other day my grandmother just celebrated her 105th birthday.
Oh, wonderful.
And she
Happy
loves
birthday,
chocolate. Happy birthday, Grandma Rose. 105. She loves chocolate. And she's just like your fine chocolate. She's a fine lady.
Oh,
so we have to treat her a bit,
Well, you're gonna have to meet
more
Grandma.
delicately. We'll have to bring her here and put a hairnet on Grandma Rose. She'd love it. So this is so neat. And now the marshmallows are coming out. And those are the marshmallows that we just saw
Yes.
going underneath the curtain.
Right.
I love that. There's a lot of steps that it from start to finish. I gotta ask, because you're around chocolate all day, every day. Do you get high on your own supply? Are you like one for them, one for me, one for them, one for me?
I don't know if I'd say one for them, one for me, but we have to do a lot of sampling, part of the quality control. So I have a lot of friends who will say, can I join the quality control team?
I just realized I should put in an application for that exact role. I don't think I ever met a chocolate I didn't like,
Attaboy.
especially Malley's chocolate.
Thank you.
We got a little taste, right? A little peek. I'm gonna have a little taste when the cameras are off, and it'll turn into a big taste. I just know it. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, because we got to see sort of the base of the iceberg. But the tip of the iceberg is so pretty. It always is. The pinks and the greens and the brown, luscious chocolates. Now, we were talking earlier about Sweetest Day, how it was started in Cleveland. Guess how many years ago? 101. Do you know about the history of Sweetest Day? Because it's a Cleveland thing, right?
Yes, it is. A lot of people have the misnotion that Sweetest Day was a made-up holiday by the candy and card manufacturers.
They don't do that.
No, they don't. But what it really started was in 1922 by Herbert Birch Kingston. He was a local chocolate guy, and back in the day there was a lot more chocolatiers and confectioners back in 1922. And the holiday really started as an idea to give sweets and chocolates to those that are often overlooked or forgotten in our society. And that's how it really started. And I can remember growing up that my father would pile my brothers and me and a lot of kids in the neighborhood in a station wagon, and we'd go to some other chocolate shop in town and pack lots of candies to be distributed to either VA homes or nursing homes. And back in the early the 20s, when the movies, I don't even know if they were talkies yet, but when they have movie theaters, the Penny Arcade downtown, a lot of the orphanages would send the kids downtown to go to the Penny Arcade and watch the movies. So Herbert had this idea with local chocolatiers, why not put up bags of treats, little bags of candy, and distribute it to the kids.
I love it.
So it really had its root there, and then it got co-opted, and it's not a bad co-op, but turned it into giving something to your significant other or somebody other than that.
But
so
you
really the
mentioned,
holiday
though,
is really not about like a small knockoff of Valentine's Day. It's an opportunity to sort of continue that random act of kindness that we want to extol. So I think that's really exciting to be a part of that. And what's really interesting, when you look at the chocolate industry as a whole, it's really, Sweetest Day is really celebrated by chocolatiers around the Great Lakes region. It's really a Great Lakes region thing. So chocolatiers in Buffalo to Detroit, Cleveland, maybe Columbus a little bit, a little bit more in upstate New York, but it really had its roots here in Cleveland. And I have friends that have chocolate companies around the country, and they'll be like, man, I wish I had a Sweetest day out here in California. But, so we've really got something.
That's
neat
when you
here
say
and
go to
unique.
Malleys.com and make it a California Sweetest day.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the number one thing that I don't think that a lot of folks here realize. If you're born and raised in Cleveland, you just assume that everyone has Sweetest Day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Great Lakes thing.
Yes, it is.
And like you mentioned, it's not a knockoff of Valentine's Day. You're supposed to use this as an opportunity to really give back to those who are overlooked. Like maybe your spouse. This is why this is why people think it's a knockoff of Valentine's Day, because you're getting chocolate-covered strawberries for your spouse. But sometimes a spouse can be overlooked.
That's true.
It's a good reason. I do really need a reason.
No, you don't.
To eat chocolate.
I also want,
it's a great reason, though.
But I also want Sweetest Day this year is also falling on the same day of the breast cancer Suman J. Corman walk that's happening in Cleveland, and Malley's is going to participate with a lot of our staff wants to volunteer and walk in it.
I love
and
that.
This year we're offering some pink ribbons. Let me step off camera for a minute. But we're selling pink ribbons that people can come in and buy for a donation that we'll make towards the walk.
Susan G. Komen.
Yes.
Okay,
and you can write on here who you're walking for, who the donation is for. So we're selling these ribbons as well as part of our Sweetest Day celebration.
So actually, this is a great way to come full circle, and we'll give her a shout out as well. One of the first people to ever feature me on a news program a long time ago was Robin Swoboda.
Oh,
she's a friend of mine, and when she did, she kind of broke away to what I was doing while she was here at Malley's Chocolate. And I told you about this.
Yeah.
And she, twice breast cancer survivor, and she is the funnest and funniest person you'd ever know. And we're going to give her a shout out.
Well, I think
because
Robin
we came full circle here.
Well, and to be full circle, I think Robin Swoboda even participated in our Easter catalog at the time. Then we used to print catalogs. Everything's gone digital now. But she donned a pair of Easter bunny rabbit ears and
that doesn't sound like her.
did something fun for the catalog when we used to get some notoriety with some Clevelanders.
I love that. Okay, so shout out to Robin. We came full circle. We're back here at Malley's where it all began. Definitely come in, get chocolate, make a donation. And this is happening. The walk is on Saturday.
Yes, it is.
This is genius. So we're going to put that information on the screen as well, because it's going to be in a few days. You have time to get prepared and make sure that you put this on your schedule, because it's a great cause. It's a great cause, and it's a great thing to support in general. And I think that you have that here when people are coming here to buy chocolate. I mean, of all things.
I think Grace was selling for $1.
So great.
Yeah, so throw an extra buck in the till and get a ribbon for just, even if you don't know anybody that you want to do it, it's just a great cause.
It is a great cause.
Yeah.
It's such a great cause.
Yeah.
So do that. And if you don't know anybody, everyone knows Robin Swoboda.
Wow, okay, there we go.
There you go. Throw in an extra buck, and the walk's on Saturday. We're going to put that information on the screen. But you know what? We've been away from the chocolate line a little bit too long. I say we get suited back up and go look at the marshmallows again.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I bet it. All right.
Back in here, we've got the graham crackers, marshmallows, nut clusters. So much happening. But you're always producing chocolate. Yep. I love it. How can people get their chocolate fix on Sweetest Day? Tell me about some of your locations, the best way to get your hands on chocolate-covered strawberries, grapes, this weekend. And of course, the Betty Lou.
Well, beginning Friday at noon, you can pick up your strawberries or grapes at any Malley location.
So any Malley's location, Friday at noon, and on throughout Sweetest Day and the weekend and all that. Got to get your Betty Lou's, got to get your strawberries, got to get your grapes. I'm going to be here getting grapes.
Yeah.
Also, we can find you guys online, right?
That's right.
What's the website? We'll put it on the screen as well.
Malleys.com. Pretty simple.
So easy, so easy. So hop in, grab some candy, make it a great day. Grace, it was so much fun hanging out with you and Mike. And while I don't think we'll ever run out of things to do and explore in Cleveland, I must be off to my next Cleveland adventure. Otherwise, I'll eat so much chocolate you won't have any left to sell. So all of you watching, remember,
The next time you want to know what to do, where to go, and what to see, check out the show and cleave it to us.